With a song in my heart, the story of men and their music, of composers who really had a song in their hearts. The composer of that song was one Joseph Burke, who first arrived on this globe of ours as far back as March the 16th, 1884, which is quite a while ago. Joe Burke was born in Philadelphia and came of a musical family. But his father, despite his great love of music, found his career tied up with the United States Navy. Hence the fact that young Joe spent most of his early life at the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis. His father, naturally enough, when Joe was about 18, wanted him to adopt a naval career. Let's see what happened.
Joe?
Yes, Pop?
You've reached your 18th birthday.
Going on for 19 now, Pop.
I know. Makes me feel older every day. And tell me, son.
Yeah, what is it, Pop?
Did you ever think what you're going to make of your life? Your career?
Well, I guess I haven't given it much thought.
No, and that's the trouble. Don't you think it's about time you did?
Well, possibly it is. But I'm having such a whale of a time at present, Pop. I haven't given much time to think about what I'll do.
Oh, in that respect, Joe, you're not much different to the young fellows of any other generation. But still...
Yes, Pop?
Don't you think it's up to you to start thinking about it? Now, if I was you...
Well, go on, Pop.
Well, I'd consider taking up a naval career. It's a fine life.
Yeah, I know that, but...
But what?
Well, I've still got a hankering to go after music.
Music? Oh, Joe, music's not a career.
Well, that's what I'd like to do best.
Oh, wouldn't we all? Don't forget, your mother and your old man, they both love music. And even if we say so ourselves, we're not bad musicians.
I know that, Pop. Maybe that's why I feel it's in my blood.
Well, maybe you're right. But music, it's fine as an agreeable hobby, but to make a living from it, why, that's a very different proposition. Chew this matter over, son, and let me know what you're finally going to settle down to.
Okay, Pop. I'll try.
And try he did. But it was a case of sheer frustration. Joe never did settle down. He messed around in many jobs for a long time, but music was his great love. And get this, he was 40 years of age before he broke into the songwriting business. Yes, he wrote his first song hit in the years just after World War I, when he gave us that old-timer, Down Honolulu Way. Here's a memory of it.
Shining down Honolulu Way, come where the palm trees sway. Nighttime is just like day, and where the sweet guitars are ringing, we'll dream the night away. where the moonbeams play on the distant bay down Honolulu way. Shining down Honolulu way. Come where the palm trees sway. Nighttime is just like day. And where the sweet guitars are ringing, we'll dream the night away. Where the moonbeams play on the distant bay down Honolulu.
Of course, Down Honolulu Way wasn't Joe Burke's first song. No, sir. He'd written many, many numbers. But like so many other budding composers, without any success whatsoever. But although his songs were turned down by practically every publisher in Tin Pan Alley, he persevered. He kept up his writing when many, in fact most, would have quitted. But after he landed his first hit, he knew he was on the right side of the road. Some few years later, whilst discussing song ideas with a lyric writer, Joe said,
You know, I didn't really start to live until I landed in the songwriting game.
You had an idea to join the Navy some years ago, I'm told.
Well, I guess that's not exactly correct. You see, joining the Navy was my father's idea.
They tell me it's a pretty good life.
Maybe, but it wasn't for me.
Did you ever think of writing a song about the Navy? After all, you spent a goodly portion of your life in a naval academy.
Yeah, but it didn't inspire me to write a song about it. Believe me, those sailors don't go for patriotic songs. They're interested in dames, mostly.
And dames are interested in them.
I'll say. Some of those gals hang around the Navy Yard like leeches. The uniform seems to hypnotize them.
Well, Joe, why not write a song about them?
Who? The girls?
Sure. The sailors' sweethearts.
and they did. A comedy number, a burlesque, and the public loved it. It proved to be that great big hit of the 20s, She Was Just a Sailor's Sweetheart.
It was on a Tuesday evening at the home of Madge Malone. There was quite a celebration, for her old man wasn't home. There were songs and witty stories and a bottle or two on the shelf, when up sprang Dan McGrew and said, "Here's a song I writ myself. Sing it, Dan. Right-o, I will. She was just a sailor's sweetheart, and she loved her sailor lad. But he left her broken-hearted. He was all she ever had. But she still believes in sailors, and she's true to the red, white, and blue. And although she's barred from the Navy Yard, she still loves her sailor boy positively.
You know, songwriting is an unpredictable business. Even the most experienced publishers make mistakes and frequently pass up hit songs. And Joe Burke has very definite proof of it. Chatting over it one day with Morton Downey, one of the world's most popular vocalists, Burke said,
"You asked me if I got any hit numbers up my sleeve, Morton. I think I have."
You think you have? Don't you know, Joe?
Well, I'm not sure. Now, for instance, I wrote a little waltz song some 4 years ago. My instinct told me it was a surefire hit.
And what happened to it?
Morton, it's been turned down by practically every publisher in New York.
Well, publishers have been known to be wrong occasionally.
Yeah, some of them, but not all of them.
What did you finally do with the number?
Put it back in my trunk and forgot about it.
I'd like to hear it, Joe.
Okay, Morton, but remember, I'm the only guy in this world who thinks it's good.
When I hear it, maybe there'll be two of us who like it. Let's have it. Go right over to that piano now, and I'll tell you the worst.
And when that great artist, Morton Downey, heard the song, he agreed with Burke that it had hit possibilities. What's more, he immediately added it to his program, recorded it, and then, why, it made some of those big publishing moguls hide their heads in shame. For that song was Carolina Moon, a million-copy seller.
Carolina moon, keep shining, shining on the one who waits for me. Tell her that I'm blue and pining for the face I long to see. I'm hoping tonight you'll go to the right window, scatter your light, say I'm all right, please do. Carolina moon, keep shining, dreamy Carolina moon. Carolina moon, keep shining, shining on the one who waits for me. I'm hoping tonight you'll go to the right window, scatter your light, say I'm all right, please do. Carolina moon, keep shining, Carolina moon, good night.
By now, Joe Burke was famous. And he was not only right in the money, but was sought after by every publisher in the business. What's more, he didn't let them down, for hit numbers simply flowed from his pen. And whilst in the main he concentrated on simple, homely melodies, every now and then he gave us a smart little song such as A Little Bit Independent. You recall it?
A little bit independent in your walk, a little bit independent in your tone. There's nothing like you in Paris or New York. You're awfully easy on the eye. A little bit independent when we dance, a little bit independent towards romance, a little sophistication in your glance. You're awfully easy on the eye. Whenever I'm with you alone, you weave a magic spell. And though it be a danger zone, I only know that you're swell. A little bit independent in your style, a little bit independent in your smile. But how can I help but love you all the while, when you're so easy on the eye? Whenever I'm with you alone, you weave a magic spell. style, a little bit independent in your smile. But how can I help but love you all the while, when you're so easy on the eyes? A little bit independent in your style and your smile, but you're so easy on the eyes.
And then came the talkies, and with them fantastic offers from Hollywood for the ace songwriters. Joe accepted one of these lucrative engagements and, like so many others, took a train for Hollywood. When he landed there, he was immediately rushed is the word, to a leading movie director's office.
So you're Joe Burke.
That's the name I usually answer to.
Well, Joe, firstly, welcome to Hollywood. You're going to love this place.
Well, I hope so. Although I haven't seen anything of it yet.
You will, but later.
Later?
Surely. Right now, we have a choice assignment for you.
What is it?
We're making a colossal musical called The Gold Diggers of Broadway. It's got one of the greatest all-star casts of all time.
I'll be happy to get onto it then. That is to say, as soon as I've settled down a bit.
Well, I'm sorry, Joe, but we'll be wanting some songs from you in a hurry.
Oh, like that, eh? When do you want them?
By tomorrow afternoon. 2 of them.
But that's an impossibility. Why, I haven't even seen the script. I know nothing about the production.
Yes, true, but I might as well confess to you that we're in a spot.
How come?
Well, we have that leading recording star, Nick Lucas, under special contract to sing 2 numbers in the production. Mr. Lucas has the right to reject any songs he doesn't consider suitable for him. And up to date, he's turned down flat everything we've submitted to him.
A little difficult, eh?
Yes, a little. Furthermore, he has to be back in New York within a week. So you see, Joe, there's vital urgency about getting the right songs for him. You're going to write them for him, and pronto. Get your lyric writer, get into one of those piano studios, and let's have them. And by tomorrow afternoon.
Gee, this is what I really call a rush job. Okay, let's get to work.
And Burke and his lyric writer really did get to work. And by the next day, turned in the 2 songs, which were eventually to prove the hits of the production. They were smash hits in the fullest sense of the word. If you don't believe me, well, listen a moment.
Tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Deep in flowers we'll stray, we'll keep the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
When I pretend I'm gay, I never feel that way. I'm only painting the clouds with sunshine. When I hold back a tear to make a smile appear, I'm only painting the clouds with sunshine. Painting the blues, beautiful hues, colored with gold and old rose. Playing the clown, trying to drown all of my woes. Though things may not look bright, they'll all turn out all right if I keep painting the clouds with sunshine. I'm always painting the clouds with sunshine.
Those 2 songs would become 2 of the greatest money spinners in all songdom, and were whistled, played, and sung throughout the world. A phenomenal effort by those 2 writers. Incidentally, Burke worked with many lyric writers. Unlike other writers, he never became part of any one songwriting team. But in the main, he worked with experienced men like Benny Davis, Al Dubin, and Edgar Leslie. And it paid dividends, big ones. Other songs of his recall were
In a gypsy tea room?
In Cherry Blossom Lane?
Many happy returns of the day.
The Kiss Waltz?
On Treasure Island?
And there were many more. But one which we seem to have overlooked was I'm Dancing with Tears in My Eyes. So, what's to do? Revive it, of course. Here it is.
For I'm dancing with tears in my eyes. For the girl in my arms isn't you. Dancing with somebody new. When it's you that my heart's calling to, trying to smile once in a while, but I find it so hard to do, for I'm dancing with tears in my eyes. For the girl in my arms isn't you.
During Joe Burke's theatrical wanderings, he helped and discovered many stars. But they were unknowns when he first saw their possibilities. Two world-famous ladies who owe their success to Joe are that glamorous dancer, Eleanor Powell, and that mercurial comedian, Martha Ray. And that brings us towards the conclusion of Burke's unusual career. He died in 1950, at the age of 66. And considering he never gave us his first hit until he was 40, he certainly packed a lot of melodies into his last 26 years. So for our finale, and one of Joseph Burke's best-loved songs, the evergreen Moon Over Miami.
Moon over Miami, shine on my love and me, so we can stroll beside the roll of the rolling sea. Moon over Miami, shine on as we begin a dream or two that may come true when the tide comes in. Hark to the song of the smiling troubadours, hark to the throbbing guitars. Hear how the waves of a thunderous applause after each song to the stars. Moon over Miami, you know we're waiting for a little love, a little kiss on Miami shore.
Hark to the song of the smiling troubadour, hark to the throbbing guitars. Hear how the waves of the thunderous applause after each song to the stars. Moon over Miami, you know we're waiting for a little kiss on Miami shore.
And we conclude the story of Joe Burke, a man who wrote simple melodies, but melodies that lingered on. The artists portraying the incidents of his life were Richard Gaze, George Randall, Keith Hudson, Max Blake, the Parkettes, and the Melodians. Your compere was John Morgan. Orchestra and chorus under the baton of William Flynn. With a Song in My Heart was produced by Alfred Potter and scripted and directed by Jack O'Hagan.